Yo, quick question. If somebody handed you $250 billion right now, but you only had 24 hours to spend it before it disappeared, what would you actually do? Most people say buy a mansion, buy a Lambo, fly private. Cool. That's maybe 50 million bucks. You'd still have $249,950 million just sitting there, doing nothing. That's the trap. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I'd do with Elon-level money in a single day. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand something about wealth that 99% of people never figure out. Let's get into it. Real quick, if you're into this kind of money makes you think differently content, hit subscribe, because every week I break down how the rich actually think versus how we're taught to think. All right, back to the billions. Reframe the problem. Here's the thing nobody tells you. At Elon's level, money isn't cash. It's not sitting in a checking account. It's almost entirely tied up in stock, mostly Tesla and SpaceX shares. So spending, it isn't like swiping a debit card. You gotta sell shares, which moves the market, which can actually tank your own net worth in real time. Wild, right? So my first move wouldn't even be spending. It'd be figuring out, how do I access this money without blowing it up? The first hour, what I'd actually do. Hour 1, I'm not buying anything. I'm calling a team, wealth managers, tax attorneys, a family office. Because here's a fact that'll blow your mind. Billionaires almost never pay for big purchases with cash. They borrow against their stock. It's called a securities-backed loan. You pledge your shares as collateral, banks hand you cash at like 2 to 3% interest, and you never trigger a taxable sale. That's literally how guys like Elon and Bezos fund their lifestyles while their reported income looks tiny on paper. So step 1 of my day, set up the loan structure. Because now I've got liquid cash, my shares are untouched, and I haven't handed a chunk of it to the IRS. The obvious stuff. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. Because yeah, I'd do some of it. A nice house, sure. Private jet for the day, why not? Maybe I clear some family debt, help my parents, help a few close friends out. That's maybe 20, 30 million total. Feels like a fortune to a normal person. To this pile of money, it's a rounding error. It's like you finding a nickel on the sidewalk. This is the exact mistake almost everyone makes when they fantasize about, what would I do with billions? They think in normal person numbers. Buy a house, 1% of your brain's money math. Buy a car, another 0.5%. You could do every extravagant thing you've ever dreamed of and still not touch 1% of the total. Where the real money goes. Assets, not stuff. So where does the other 99% go? This is where it gets interesting. And this is the part one actually want you to remember. Real money, Elon money, doesn't go into stuff. It goes into things that make more money or things that make you more powerful. Think. Buying real estate in cash, not one house, entire apartment complexes, whole city blocks. Buying controlling stakes in companies, not a few shares, actual ownership and decision-making power. Funding startups, becoming the guy who owns a piece of the next Tesla before it's the next Tesla. Infrastructure, data centers, energy projects, satellites, stuff that prints money for decades. This is the difference between spending and deploying. Regular people spend money. Rich people deploy capital. Same dollars, completely different verb, completely different outcome 20 years later. The part nobody talks about, taxes and legacy. Here's something wild. If I actually sold billions in stock to spend it in cash, the tax bill alone could be north of 30 to 40%. So smart deployment isn't just about making more. It's about not losing huge chunks to taxes you didn't have to pay. That's why billionaires set up foundations, trusts, and holding companies. It's not shady. It's just structuring wealth so it survives you, your kids, and your grandkids. And that's honestly the biggest mindset shift here. A regular person thinks about money in terms of what can I buy today? A billionaire thinks about money in terms of what does this become in 20 years? That gap, that's the real wealth gap. It's not the number in the bank account. It's the time horizon. Bringing it back to you, the value bomb. Now here's why I'm telling you all this, even though you and I don't have $250 billion. Because the same principles apply at any level. You get a $1,000 bonus. Most people spend it on stuff. The move is, could this $1,000 become an asset instead? Could it go into an index fund, a small side hustle, a course that increases your income? Same math Elon uses, just with way smaller numbers. You don't need billionaire money to think like a billionaire. You need the billionaire framework. Don't just spend, deploy. Don't just consume, compound. So real quick recap. If I had Elon-level money for a day, I'm not buying yachts and calling it done. I'm structuring access to the cash without tanking my own stock, handling the tax angle first, doing a little fun spending because, hey, I'm human, and then deploying the other 99% into assets that keep making money long after the 24 hours are up. That's the billionaire playbook. And honestly, you can start using a scaled-down version of it today. If this opened your eyes even a little, smash that subscribe button. I drop videos like this breaking down how rich people actually think about money. Drop a comment. What's the first thing you'd buy if you had this kind of money for a day? I read every single one. Catch you in the next video.